Hi, coming in.
Hi.
Welcome to the sneak peek. Have fun.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm here at the DC Auto Show, the annual auto show, and this is one that's a little different from regular auto shows. They call this the Public Policy Show because, of course, it's so close to DC, and you've got some politicians and administration officials and so forth here at the show for the press on day one. So this was press day, and in addition to a lot of the sessions with legislators and industry officials, there's also a sneak peek of the show itself and the cars that were here. Now, one thing that's a little different and very disappointing is that Stellantis, and I talked about this in a previous video, was not here. So there were no Dodge, Jeeps, Chryslers, Ram truck. There was no Alfa Romeo. There was no Fiat. None of those were here. Also, it seems like there were a bunch of other manufacturers missing as well, which is kind of disappointing. But in any event, let's look around. I'll show you what I saw today, and let's go.
So we're going to start off with Toyota, and Toyota actually had one of the largest spaces here at the car show. It had kind of a double space, the most square footage, and there was a lot of stuff here at the show. They've got trucks, they've got the Tacoma, the Tundra, the Land Cruiser, the Sequoia, a lot of the SUVs, and this is the Mirai, which is an electric, but it's a hydrogen fuel cell electric. So of course it's not a battery electric. You don't have to plug it in to charge it. It fills up with hydrogen, and currently the only place really you can get that is California. And also Hawaii, there's a piece of Hawaii that also has hydrogen cars and a dealer that has a fill-up for hydrogen. Trucks, large 18-wheelers are going to have to go hydrogen. That's kind of what people are talking about. So again, going back to the vehicles, the sedans, you have, of course, the Prius and the Corolla and the Camry. Still a lot of cars and crossovers with Toyota. A lot of the other manufacturers like Chevy and Ford have gone away from cars, and they just have crossovers and SUVs. But here's the Crown, by the way. The Crown name within Toyota has been around for a long time, and this is the 16th generation Crown, which pretty much is the top of the line. And a good-looking car. And walking right across the aisle, still with Toyota, we saw some SUVs and some Toyota performance cars. The first one here is the GR86, which shares the platform with the Subaru BRZ, and they start in the high 20s, which is really a good price. And here's the GR Corolla, again a high-performance little hatchback. It's around $36,000, and there's another GR86, and here is the Supra, and that Supra actually shares a platform with the BMW Z4. Going across to Chevy, we see a Tahoe, a bunch of SUVs, and there are no cars anymore with Chevy. I mean, the Camaro's gone. There are no sedans, Impalas, Caprices. Again, they're mainly crossovers, trucks, SUVs, and we see some more SUVs here. The Silverado truck is the number 2 selling vehicle in the United States, and of course we have the Corvettes. So if you want a high-performance car, you got to spend some money. No more less expensive Camaros, which actually had gone up a lot, but this is the C8, the 8th generation Corvette. They are beautiful cars. They start at about $70,000 if you can get one, that is. And again, looking back over at some more of the Chevy trucks, Silverados, again, great trucks. And walking across to Ford, we see, of course, the Ford F-150 pickup truck, the best-selling vehicle in the United States, including cars. And here, of course, is a Bronco. And this particular Bronco we're seeing in front of us is the Raptor version, so they're capitalizing on the Raptor name which is so popular among the Raptor F-150 pickup. I think it's mostly a graphics package. I know there's some other handling cues and so forth, I think, but it doesn't have really a much faster engine. It's not a V8 or supercharged or anything like that. Good looking vehicle though. The Broncos have been very, very popular. Here's another Bronco here. And right next door, this is the Bronco Sport, which has nothing to do really with the Bronco. It's really a smaller vehicle, different vehicle. It's a different platform. I don't know why they just didn't have a different name, but that seems to be the thing in the auto industry. And here is the Mustang. This is the only car left within the Ford lineup. Glad they're keeping it. It's the only pony car left for sale in America. The Challenger's gone, the Camaro's gone, so you still can get a nice V8 pony car Mustang, and this is the Mustang Dark Horse. It's a little more performance oriented than the regular GT Mustang. The horsepower is bumped up a little. There are a bunch of other handling package features that make it a little better on the track and on the road, and of course it's a cool looking car. The Mustang Dark Horse, and the Mustangs will be around for a little while longer, hopefully. I haven't heard that they're canceled yet, so they'll be around, I think, at least until 2028. So that's a great thing. We see more SUVs, a lot of SUVs among Fords, in addition to just the Bronco. Of course, that's kind of a different kind of car, kind of competing with the Jeep Wrangler. And we also have the little SUV Escape, which was on the right. We're going to get here's another one on the left. And these are very popular, kind of a smaller SUV. And moving over to Honda, we see that they have still some cars available here. A lot of the American manufacturers don't have cars available, but there still are a lot of cars. You can get a Civic, you can get an Accord with Honda. And of course, they also have a wide range of SUVs. They have the Ridgeline truck. They have the Pilot SUV. They have the Passport. So there's a bunch of stuff you can still get as far as cars go with Honda. And still in the Honda space, we move over to Acura, part of the Honda family. And I think this is a TLX. Yeah, TLX. These are nice cars. Again, cars still available in Acura. You've got with Acura, you've got the TLX, you've got the Integra, you've got the crossover, the RDX crossover, and the MDX SUV. So there's again, these are upscale Hondas, more or less. And moving over into the Nissan space, Nissan used to be called Datsun. Anyway, here are some SUVs, and there are a bunch of SUVs available through Nissan, and they also have a bunch of cars too, which is good. Again, not a lot of the American car companies have cars, but there are a bunch of cars with Nissan. And again, here's another SUV. SUVs and crossovers. We've got the Pathfinder, the Rogue, the Aria, the Kicks, the Murano. So here's a Sentra. So one of the cars, a pretty good price. They start at $20,790. The Sentras. So that's pretty good. Still can get one for a fairly good price. And of course, there is also the Maxima. I don't know if I saw one here. And then of course we have the performance vehicle. We have the Z car. This is a beautiful car. These started around $42,000, and it is basically the Halo car. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. Fast, good looking. There's also the Nissan GT-R, which starts at like $120,000. I didn't see one of those at the show today. But again, the Z car is a beautiful car. Glad they still make a nice high-performance vehicle. And moving over to Kia, somebody asked me if Kia and Hyundai were the same company. Kia and Hyundai actually do operate independently, but Hyundai is the parent company of Kia. There are a lot of Kia models available. a bunch of SUVs, a bunch of cars, crossovers, hybrids, EVs. They're really Hyundai and Kia really getting into EVs, so there are a lot of EVs available. Whether that's a good thing in the long run, if there's the demand there, we will see. But again, there are the Sportage, the Nitro, Seltos, the Sorento. They're just the Soul. The Soul is a really, an affordable car. This is the EV9, and this is all electric. I really like the color. And the EV9s start at around $50,000. Quite a contrast from the Kia Soul that's around $20,000. Moving downstairs, we start off with Volvo. Volvo had a pretty good showing here. And of course, they've got some beautiful quality cars here. And Volvo has a good mix of fully electric, hybrids, and gasoline cars. They've got crossovers, they've got SUVs, and they still have sedans. And here's Polestar, and this car we see on the right, this white car, that was the Polestar 1, which their first car was actually a hybrid. So it's not all electric, but the Polestar 2 and 3, which are available now, are all electric. Volvo has an interest in Polestar, but they are separate companies. We'll see if that changes moving forward. And here we are in Subaru country, and there's a pretty good array of cars and crossovers here. There's, the SUV crossovers, the Crosstrek, the Forester, the Outback, the Ascent, the Solterra. A lot of stuff there, and there's a little video game for the kids. And they also have cars. They have a couple of cars, which is great, the Impreza and the Legacy. They also have a couple of performance cars, the WRX, which has been around for a while. It's a great vehicle. There are a lot of cars, hatchback performance cars that used to compete with this, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, as well as the Ford Focus RS and the Ford Focus ST. But again, this is still a fun little car, all-wheel drive. And I don't think the STI version of this is still available, but that was even faster. Also, the Subaru BRZ, which, as I mentioned, was the same as the Toyota GR86. And here we are at the Hyundai section, and of course Hyundai is the parent company of Kia, and they've got a ton of stuff available. They've got SUVs, they've got crossovers, they've got sedans, they've got hybrids, they've got electrics. Here's the Palisade, big SUV. This is gas powered, and these start in the mid-30s. And going from a conventional looking vehicle to something that's way not conventional looking, here is the Tesla Cybertruck. Probably this design, you either love it or hate it, but Elon Musk definitely takes chances and breaks the mold when he designs something. So it's really quite a vehicle. The all-wheel drive version goes for about $80,000. It does 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and I think it's got an 11,000-pound towing capacity. They also have a Cyber Beast version of this with a 0 to 60 time of 2.6 seconds. So amazing, and a top speed of 130. So really quite a vehicle. I've never seen one on the road, but I can imagine seeing one on the road would be like seeing the Batmobile on the road. I'm sure there'd be quite a crowd looking at this thing. And here are the beautiful McLaren supercars. This is something to aspire to. Beautiful cars. And the Altura, I think that's the orange one, those start in the mid-200s, 250, 260,000. And the 750Ss, they're over 400,000. So dream on. But they are just beautiful cars. They are fast. They are really quite impressive to see them on the roads. So take a look. And if you have the money for a McLaren, but you need a four-door sedan, here you go, Rolls-Royce. Beautiful car. I'm not sure which model this is. I'm not sure if this is the Phantom or the Ghost, but in any event, it's got to be around 400,000 or more. Again, beautiful, beautiful car. And if you don't quite have the money for a Rolls-Royce, you can get a Aston Martin DB12. Beautiful, beautiful car. Top speed 202 miles an hour. 3.6 seconds to 0 to 62. And this is about 245,000. That's where they start. Great cars. Fun cars. Beautiful cars. And listen to the engine. So here's quite a contrast. We go from that beautiful look and sound of the Aston Martin to Hyundai EVs. How exciting. These are the EV thrill rides. I don't know if you'd call it a thrill ride, but this is if you want to come to the car show and feel what it feels like to ride in an EV. And of course, they really didn't call this a thrill ride. I'm thinking back to the Hellcat thrill rides I used to take at car shows. And this Ford Escape here is not a factory car. This has been modified by a company that converts this to E85, and it's a plug-in hybrid. So instead of gas, it's E85, which is 85% ethanol, 15% gas, and then it's also a plug-in hybrid. So this conversion is something that uses, basically it's an alternative fuel. But again, you have the flexibility of having the battery and the ethanol-powered vehicle. And also here in the lower level of the car show, we have specialty cars and collector cars. These are some Ferrari kind of race cars. It's a Ferrari Club. Competizione. I don't know how you pronounce that. In any event, there we go. And here are some Corvettes. It's a 62. Beautiful, beautiful Corvettes. We've got a bunch of classics. And here's a modern classic, the C8 Corvette, brand new. And those start with the LT2 engine with about 495 horsepower. I'm not sure if that's the stock engine. Again, beautiful, beautiful car. You can still get those. We saw some upstairs in the Chevy display. There's a 69 Corvette. I years ago had a 71, which looks very similar. Great cars. And there are 4 other Corvettes from different years. Also the Mustang Classics. That was a GT500. Here's a 66 convertible. Here is a 66 Fastback. This car, this model and color was the same one used by Spencer for Hire in the TV show in the 1980s. There's another look at the 66 convertible. Lots of Mustangs in California. And here are the Cadillac Classics. This is, tell me in the comments, is this a 56? What a beautiful car. Unbelievable. There's a Buick Skylark. This is a 53, and I'm not sure if that may have just been a prototype that went around the car show circuit in the 1953 era. There's an old Corvette, and there's another Cadillac convertible. Just beautiful, beautiful cars. Love to cruise around in one of those. And is this the Barbie car? I'm not sure. It sure looks like it color-wise, but this thing runs on dish soap. You can see the bubbles coming out of the back. I'm kind of kidding about that. It doesn't really run on dish soap, but it looks it. And that's about it for the lower level of the car show.
So that's it. We took a little tour of the auto show, the car manufacturers that were here. On the upstairs and downstairs, it was on 2 levels. And again, not as many vehicles and manufacturers as normal. But again, we had a good chance to see what was here. And hopefully, hopefully there'll be more of a variety next year, maybe especially with Stellantis. I hope they come back into the shows. So if you haven't already done so, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. Definitely helps a lot. Take care. We'll see you next time.